Welcome into OutKick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having a fantastic Tuesday, wherever you may be across this great nation or this great land. Encourage you to check out OutKick Anonymous Mailbag today. And right off the top, 40-1. You bet $5, you win $200. All you have to do is pick the winner of an NFL game this weekend. Let me repeat that offer because it is an incredibly good one. 40-1 payout. $5 bet returns $200. All you have to do is pick the winner of any NFL game this weekend. If you go to fanduel.com/Clay, that is fanduel.com/Clay, a $5 bet returns $200. All you have to do is pick the winner of a NFL game of your choice. All right, you knew this was going to happen. After millions of you went to college football games all over the country on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Dr. Anthony Fauci and CNN are upset with you because you chose to go to college football games. And not surprisingly, today, you knew, look, we've had crowds in Major League Baseball games for an entire season. We're almost finished with the Major League Baseball season. We have had indoor crowds for NBA games. Almost finished the season with crowds everywhere. Indoor, didn't matter. Dr. Fauci and CNN took aim at the fact that they say it's not safe for college football fans to be present. Let me just kind of discuss this with you in detail. You've been lied to. For the vast majority of Americans, COVID has never been an actual danger. For the vast majority of you who are under the age of 70, you have a greater than 99.4%, I believe it is, chance of surviving even if you're under the age of 70. If you're young, you're under more danger of dying in a traffic accident. You're under more danger of being murdered. You are under more danger of the seasonal flu. Let me repeat this. For college-age kids, younger high school kids, elementary school kids, for sure. If I said as a parent, I'm terrified for my kids to go to school because I'm afraid that somebody might murder them on my walk to school, a lot of you would say, my God, Clay, have you actually looked at the data? Maybe you should try and live somewhere else if you're that afraid. If I said, hey, I'm terrified for my kids to go to school in the morning because I'm afraid I'm going to die in a traffic accident. If I said, hey, I'm not going to let my kids play football or soccer or baseball because I'm afraid we might die on the drive to the practice fields, all of you would say, man, maybe you need to do a little bit better at assessing risk. That's where we are for much of the country when it comes to young people and COVID. And what upsets the Dr. Fauci's of the world is masses of people are starting to realize that they have given up a huge percentage of their life, 18 months now, for a virus that has almost no risk to them at all. That's what you've done. If you have been unwilling to go to sporting events, to let your kids go to school, to let your kids play sports, to go on vacation, to get on airplanes, you have statistically a 0% chance of death from COVID. That's what I have. I already had COVID. I had COVID last year. I still have COVID antibodies. I didn't change my lifestyle. I said, hey, I'm probably going to get this thing. And when I get this thing, statistically, I'm going to be fine. And I'm going to rely on the data and the statistics. And I'm going to live my life as I would ordinarily live my life. I was at the stadium in Neyland, along with tens of thousands of other people. And like millions of you who are college football fans, I went to a college football game this weekend. I tailgated multiple places, both in Charlotte for Georgia Clemson and also for Bowling Green in Tennessee. And you know what I had? An incredible time. And you know what I found? People having incredible times. All stripes of life, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. It didn't matter. Everybody was coming together in a common spirit of excitement, anticipation, and joy surrounding college football. And it's no surprise that Dr. Anthony Fauci, who, by the way, we should mention, more evidence came out today that he has helped to ensure that gain-of-function research was taken care of at the Wuhan Virology Lab and the Wuhan Animal Lab there with your tax dollars. It's like the media won't cover the fact that we probably paid for much of the research that led to COVID being unleashed into the world. Our tax dollars went for gain-of-function research on bats and the coronavirus, and it's almost certain that this was human-created and that it escaped from a lab, and that after being human-created and escaping from a lab, China covered it up and allowed this to spread all over the world, such that a lot of people have gotten it, and really the only way out of COVID is through herd immunity. That's what we're ultimately ending up here, because they're already talking about a fourth different shot in Israel. They're already mandating a third shot. United States, they're talking about a third different shot. And again, let me repeat the data here. We have twice as many people hospitalized for COVID this Labor Day as we did last year. And remember, the Biden administration came in and they said, hey, we're going to solve COVID. We're going to manage this better from the White House than the Donald Trump administration has. And guess what's happened? There now are twice as many people hospitalized for COVID right now on this Labor Day weekend than there was last year in 2020 for Labor Day weekend. Seems like a pretty significant detail. And what Fauci and the Biden White House and all of the people who are trying to restrict your freedom, what they want to do is they want you to give up on having a normal life. Because as soon as people see normalcy occurring across the nation, it encourages everybody else to live normally instead of allowing fear of COVID to dictate everything in our life. We are going to live normally. So here's what I would encourage you to do. I would encourage everybody out there. I'm going to be in Fayetteville for the Texas-Arkansas game. I'm going to be on the road all fall. I'm going to be going to games all over the country. I would encourage all of you to do the same. I'd also encourage you, come hang out at some of our tailgates. We got a big OutKick bus driving all over the country. I want to see you guys. I'm going to be, like I said, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, in the Gardens. We're going to have Coach Pittman on from Arkansas on Saturday morning on the Big Noon Saturday show, which I'd also encourage you guys to watch. It's going to be on from 9 to 11 Central Time, 10 to noon Eastern, 8 to 10 Mountain, 7 to 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Brady Quinn, Rob Stone, and also Bob Stoops and me. And we're going to have a lot of fun all season long going around to big college football games. I want you guys to be there, and I want you guys to stand up to the Fauciites. I want you to stand up to the Joe Biden administration and say the best way to get back to normal is by behaving normally ourselves. You know, Joe Biden ran his entire campaign on the idea that he was going to restore normalcy to America. It's not how it works. Normalcy comes from the people, bottom up, not top down from the president. And so I encourage all of you to be in stadiums, to be loud, to tailgate, to have an amazing time with college football this season. I just want you to remind you, Virginia, do you see the Inner Sandman amazing experience with Virginia Tech? Do you see jump around with Wisconsin fans? They told Wisconsin they couldn't play football last September. There were twice as many people hospitalized this Labor Day as last Labor Day. They told Virginia high school kids, you can't play high school football this fall. There are, right now, twice as many people hospitalized all over the country with COVID. What they told you was lies. We should have been living our lives normally for the past 18 months. We should have never shut down schools. We should have never shut down anything in this country. We should have just powered through. We'd have a lot more herd immunity if we had done that. Instead, we've stopped, we destroyed the economy, we paid people not to work. We got to get back to normalcy in this country. Speaking of normalcy, it's abnormal how good Ole Miss is. I got to tell you, they took it to Louisville last night. The ACC is a dumpster fire right now. And Ole Miss dominant. 26-0, I believe it was, at the half. Rolled on through the second half. Castle is a big-time playmaker. Coral is a big-time playmaker for Ole Miss. I'm going to get his stats up so you can see how well he actually did, even with Lane Kiffin on the bench and not able to coach because he'd already tested positive for COVID, even though he got his vaccine, by the way. And of course, we're going to have a massive number of breakthrough cases as we continue throughout the season, no matter how perfectly we try to be. Matt Corral was fantastic in the SEC. He put up incredible stats. Let me go look at them. I thought this would be fast, and it didn't end up being fast as I'm scrolling through all the way through the box score. I've got it pulled up right now. And I got to tell you, 22 at 32, 380 yards. Really impressive performance from him. But the most impressive part of the Ole Miss performance was their defense being infinitely better this year, at least so far. Maybe Louisville's truly awful, but at least so far than they were all of last year, which leads me in to my ranking of overall everybody in the college football and in the SEC. Now that we have actually finished everything and have got everything rolling here, I want to give you my top 14 in the SEC and my top 14 overall. And here we go with the top 14, all right? In the SEC, my power rankings, Alabama dominated Miami. There is zero doubt the Crimson Tide, I believe, are the best team in all of college football. In the second spot, I've got Georgia with their big win over Clemson. These are my SEC power rankings. Alabama and Georgia, I believe, are going to play in the SEC championship game on December 4th in Atlanta. Ole Miss, I am slotting all the way up at number 3. Some people say, how do you rank teams, Clay? I look at quality of opponent. I reward teams that beat Power 5 conference opponents and also win in road or neutral situation, and also by how much they dominate. Also looked at point spreads because there was a lot of big point spreads here. Ole Miss third best in the SEC right now. I've got Texas A&M sliding it at number 4. The Aggies go on the road against Colorado, around 17-point favorites. I'm curious to see how they do in that game. 5 spot, Auburn. Auburn looked pretty solid, beat down of Akron that they put on. Also want to give credit to Auburn for reserving 13 seats for all of the people who were killed in Afghanistan, our soldiers who were victims there. Want to give credit to Auburn for doing that, holding those seats. And I've got them at number 5 overall. Kentucky, 45-10. They rolled. I've got them at 6th. We'll see what happens with their game this weekend against Missouri. They are 5-point favorites. In the 7 spot, I have got the Florida Gators. I think that Florida, just okay. 2 interesting quarterbacks. They may end up having a little bit of a quarterback dilemma going on there. But right now, I've got the Gators sliding in at the 7 spot. Tennessee, Bowling Green wasn't very good. Defense played decently. 38-6 win. Arkansas, the Razorbacks pulled away late from Rice. Missouri at 10. I didn't think Missouri looked that good. They only won by 10. I've got them at 10 overall. South Carolina, 11. Mississippi State, who was fortunate to come back. I believe it was against Louisiana Tech after being down big. And then I've got LSU, who performed poorly against UCLA, got dominated on the line of scrimmage in the 13 spot, and Vanderbilt all the way down at 14 as they were dominated by East Tennessee State. That is my SEC power rankings 1 to 14. Now, for those of you who don't know, every single Sunday or Monday, depending on how busy my travel is and whether I got to get my kids to a Titans game or not. For instance, this weekend, I'm going to get back from Fayetteville late on Saturday night, and then Sunday morning I got to get up. It's my son's 10 turning 11-year-old birthday, and I've got 4 different of his 5th grade classmates, and we're going to the Titans game. So I got to get myself up the next morning, get those kids all driven down. I'm not sure that I'll get the starting 11 finished or not because it's going to be such a late night, but typically, I do a starting 11 column. This one was 4,000 words breaking down everything going on in college football. And I want to give you my top 10 as I do it every single Sunday. May have to run some into Monday depending on how things go. I got Alabama number 1 overall. Georgia number 2. I think the 2 best teams right now in all of college football are Alabama and Georgia. UCLA, Chip Kelly, starting to get it done. I've got UCLA sliding into the 3rd spot. Virginia Tech at 4, the Hokies with a big win over North Carolina. Congrats to them. In the 5 spot, I've got Penn State. The Nittany Lions continuing to roll, getting a big win on the road over Wisconsin. Iowa Nice win over Indiana for the Hawkeyes, setting up a big game against Iowa State this weekend, a battle of top 25 opponents. Texas, Longhorns, got it done against Louisiana. Ragin' Cajuns, pretty good football team. I've got Texas slid in at number 7, Ohio State at 8, Michigan State. Dominant win for Michigan State over Northwestern. And then I have got Ole Miss and Montana tied at 10. I want to give a shout out to Montana for finding a way to get a win on the road against Washington. That was an incredible performance. Donald Trump, in an interview with Hugh Hewitt, I didn't even see this until today. One of you emailed me about this. Donald Trump suggested that both myself and Dave Portnoy at Barstool would be potential good debate moderators in 2024. I would love to do that. I would love to moderate a debate. I don't know that it's likely to happen, but we do have the biggest radio show in the country right now, the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show. Encourage you to go subscribe, sign up, make sure that you're not missing anything from a podcast perspective. And I do think that a lot of the debate moderators didn't do a great job during the course of the 2020 debate. I think I'd do a pretty good job trying to get everybody corralled, trying to focus on what was being said, whose turn it was to talk. I think I would do a decent job of it. And I appreciate President Trump, 45 himself, saying that both myself and Portnoy would potentially be good debate moderators. I'd be happy to do it. I bet Dave would as well. But I'd be ecstatic at the opportunity to help allow all of you to see the candidates debate issues that truly matter on a significant stage. I think I'd do a pretty good job of coming up with questions and helping to moderate that debate. By the way, I thought Megyn Kelly in the 2016 Republican presidential debates, I thought she was fantastic. I know Trump got mad at her, but I thought the Fox News debate was really one of the most substantive debates out there, featuring all of the Republican candidates. And I know a lot of these Republican candidates well at this point. We're going to have a lot of them on the radio show. And I obviously want as good of candidates as we can possibly have in both sides for the 2024 presidential election. All right, I got to tell you about my friends at Manscaped that will help you get hooked up and make sure that you don't get left behind with the fact that it is now back to school season. You know what you need in back to school season. I'm on the road with a lot of you guys and girls who are going to college right now. A lot of you who are high school kids, believe it or not, you're reading, you're paying attention to a lot of what we're doing at OutKick. And I got to tell you, you need to make sure that you get the brand new Lawnmower 4.0 and that you sign up right now for the Performance Package 4.0. Teaches boys, a lot of you out there, not yet men, lessons on male hygiene. You get the Lawnmower 4.0, a Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer, Crop Preserver, ball deodorant, Crop Reviver, plus 2 free gifts, Performance Boxer Briefs, I love these, and also the Shed Travel Bag. You can get hooked up right now and make sure that you attend Smooth Balls University this fall. Smooth Balls University, it's a real thing. 4th generation, by the way, trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0, 7,000 RPM motor, new multifunction on-off switch. You can use it in the shower because it's waterproof. Also comes with a Weed Whacker. I'm telling you, this is a big difference maker for you, particularly for all you kids that are back in school right now or grad school. Got a lot of time to make up, a lot of partying for the parties that you weren't able to have recently. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code DBAP20 at manscaped.com. That's the code DBAP20, DBAP20, 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. This year, graduate with a degree in clean balls from Manscaped. You'll be glad that you did. You know, the NFL starts on Thursday, and we got the Dallas Cowboys on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to be talking about this in a little over 30 minutes on Fox Bet Live, me, Cousin Sal, and Alex Curry. And I got to tell you right now, we're dealing with some Deshaun Watson insanity. I'm going to talk about that Thursday night football game here in a moment. Deshaun Watson is on the Texans' 53-man roster. They're going to pay him $10 million a year to play, and somehow he's eligible. Our Armando Salguero reported that at least one team offered up to 2 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, and they were told by the Texans, we're holding out for 3 first-round picks, which is crazy to think about because there's still 22 women accusing Deshaun Watson of sexual assault in civil lawsuits, and there's 10 additional women, including 2 who have not filed civil lawsuits, that have accused Deshaun Watson of criminal sexual assault, and there's a current investigation ongoing there, and we still don't have any actual results. The NFL has conducted their own investigation. They haven't made any determination at all. So Deshaun Watson is somehow eligible to play, and yet the Texans are just going to sit him on the bench, and instead they're going to be starting Tyrod Taylor. This whole story is very strange. I want you to remember it the next time that you hear that a black quarterback isn't being treated fairly. Deshaun Watson, almost no one is even mentioning what's going on with him or the amount of accusers he has. This is like Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Cosby level numbers of accusers right now for Deshaun Watson, and it's like everybody's pretending that it's not actually going on. In the other news, the Bucs are out to a 7.5-point favorite over the Cowboys. Why is that happening? Because the Cowboys are having a worse outbreak right now of COVID than they had all of last year, despite the fact that a huge percentage of people are vaccinated on their team. And this is why COVID is not going to go away. Again, as I just said, there are twice as many people right now in this country who are hospitalized with COVID in this Labor Day compared to last Labor Day. Why is that occurring? It's because, frankly, the vaccine is not actually providing long-term protection like we expected to see. Some protection when it comes to severity, yes. But in terms of this being like the smallpox vaccine or this being like the polio vaccine where it just eliminates a virus, it's never going to happen. COVID-0 is not a reality. COVID is going to be with us for the rest of our lives, which is why I started off this show congratulating college football fans on making the decision to live their own normal life. Embrace your joy. Live your life without fear. I hope to see many of you in Fayetteville, Arkansas on this weekend. Should be a lot of fun as we get ready for the Texas game. My name is Clay Travis. DBAP, unless you need to. SBAP, make sure that you go get your bets in. 40-1, a $5 bet on any NFL team to win gets you back $200. That is absolutely phenomenal. All you have to do, new users, FanDuel.com/Clay. That is FanDuel.com/Clay. I'll see you on television in about a half hour. And also, I'm going to be on the Tucker Carlson show tonight on Fox News as well. I was on this morning. I'll be on tonight. I'll be on tomorrow morning on Fox and Friends. Your boy is busy for sure. I appreciate all of you. DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. This has been OutKick the Show.